What's up, guys? Geeky Boy here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super episode 117. Alright, guys, let's get into it. So, overall, we start back where episode 116 left off, where Goku kind of, stumbling and walking towards, like other throughout the arena anyway, and then we actually see Gohan and Piccolo actually saying that, oh wow, Dad's power is amazing, and then they were actually end up going to save him, but they were actually stopped by the Universe 6 Namekians, so they had to fight them off, and then actually we pan on over to Vegeta, where the police fighter is actually gonna fight Vegeta, and the Universe 3 fighter he changes his mode. He goes into like battle mode and everything, and basically Vegeta was just like, all right, he put his hands down to the sides, and basically he's gonna do the same thing that Goku did in the previous episode, getting Ultra Instincts. So pretty much, the Universe 3 fighter comes up to him and just starts like really just, punching him out. He continues just punching him, and eventually Vegeta gets tired of it. He's like, you know what? Forget this. I'm just gonna, and he just starts punching him all the way. And then Whis noted that this is Vegeta's style. He doesn't, he's not gonna really do that Ultra Instincts. Who knows? Maybe sometime later in the Tournament of Power. Anyway, we move on forward with both Android 17 and 18. They have like a little moment in that little, that debris of rocks and everything. And Android 17 notices that Android 18 is kind of hurt. And he actually rips up a piece of his shirt off and then like fixes her like ankle so they can go help Goku out. And pretty much, this is where Ribrianne and Rozie are on the move to take out Goku. And then, of course, the other, like, three fighters, Naruto and Zarian and I can't remember the last guy's name, but the other dude, that big guy with the helmet. So all five of those guys are, they surround Goku. And basically, they're going to take him out until Android 17 and 18 show up. And basically, Ribrianne told the other three fighters from Universe 2 to watch Goku, while Rozie takes on Android 17 to avenge Katsus. I can't remember the other fighter's name. The kind of like the bat chick from, I think, episode 102 that was eliminated. Anyway, and Ribrianne takes on Android 18. So pretty much, Android 18 and 17, they take on their opponents respectively. Of course, Android 18 is like, just like kind of toying around with Ribrianne, and then one point in the episode, she actually like stomps her in the face and kind of like caves in her face in, but she somehow manages to pull out her face, which I thought was like, what the heck? So I thought that was really interesting. And throughout this fighting, I think throughout the fighting, Ribrianne actually shoots one of the blasts, like that was gonna go directly to to Android 18, but Android 17 actually shot a key blast to help Android 18 get out of that situation. And another thing was that Rozie and Android 17, they were like, fighting back and forth. I was really surprised that Rozie was keeping up with Android 17. In my opinion, I think, Android 17 is way stronger than her. But anyway, both Rozie attacks actually ends up shooting a key blast at Android 17, but no, Android 18, my bad. Android 18, and it shoots Ribrianne, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Ribrianne." So I thought that was pretty hilarious. And then towards the end, not towards the end of the episode, but we have another aspect where Ribrianne is gonna shoot. He was gonna help Rozie out, but Android 18 counteracts her attack in a way. And then, of course, we have Android 17 shooting his Ki Blast and knocking Rozie out. So she's gone. So that's really cool. And then eventually we get to see the fight between Ribrianne and, of course, Ribrianne and Android 18. And basically she's saying like, oh, love will triumph all, I want to spread love to all the universes. And this is where she notices that, well, Android 18 tells Ribrianne that, there's no way that I'm not running away, but I'm here to win because I have a family to protect and everything's online. And basically, this is where Ribrianne kind of notices Krillin's like bald head, and she was like, "Oh, is that your husband?" And she was like, "Yeah, why? What is that to you?" And she was like, "Well, he's ugly." And he's like, "Well, he's ugly." And she's like, "Oh well, you talk too much. Let's continue fighting." So they pretty much continue fighting, and eventually Android 18 is able to like kind of knock her out of her Ribrianne form, her kind of that fat form, and basically all the universe 2 members that are on the bench, they take out like this wand and they kind of give like some of their love to Ribrianne, and she like transforms into this like giant kind of like Ribrianne mode, which I thought was kind of like ridiculous. And then pretty much Android 18 is like stuck like on the ground because she used her like armor. Ribrianne used like that technique called love armor, so she can't move. And pretty much from there, like Android 18 kind of like has like flashbacks of like her Krillin and Marin, and she knows she can't lose because these important people in her life will be gone. So she basically breaks out of the chains, and when Ribrianne's fist is coming down to hit her, she basically like punches the large fish and break the large fist and breaks it. So I thought that was like really amazing, and she basically starts like running up her arm, and then Ribrianne's like shooting all these key blasts from her mouth to see if she can really attack her, but no, Android 18 is actually blocking all that. And eventually Android 18 gets to the point where she goes through her skull and just kind of like makes a hole in it, kind of like a dragon fist, kind of like Goku's dragon fist in a way. And that's the end of Ribrianne, and where she is eliminated, and all the fans can be ecstatic. I was actually really surprised when Ribrianne was actually eliminated in this episode. I was really hoping that she would stay around for a little bit longer, but I guess it is what it is. Other than that, Ribrianne kind of had like she has more respect for Android 18 towards the end of the episode, because she said like other universes, oh, that's a love that I don't understand yet. And I thought that was like really cool, like on Ribrianne's part, even though like not a lot of people liked her. It was really interesting. Other than that, like it was a pretty good episode. Next week we're gonna be getting Goku facing off against the other 3 warriors, the last 3 warriors remaining from Universe 2, and then we're gonna have Gohan and Piccolo facing off against the Namekians, the 2 warriors remaining from Universe 6. Other than that, we have about 17 minutes remaining. No, 15 minutes remaining to determine the power, which is ridiculous. It's actually winding down now. And that's crazy. So I'm actually excited for next week's episode. This episode was all right in the sense that, we got to see like Android 17 and 18. So I thought that was really cool. And other than that, like, oh, another thing, Zeno in this episode was really funny. They were like they were like kind of punching each other, but kind of like in a way that they were just having fun. And I thought that was really cool. That was a cool observation on my part. Anyway, other than that, this episode was okay. Like Android 17 and 18 were really good in this episode. But, next week, prediction, I could see maybe both Universe 2 and 6 getting eliminated, which is kind of crazy. But other than that, those are just like my thoughts on the episode. I know I was like all over the place, but I'm Geeky Boy. I hope you guys subscribe to my channel, like my video, and comment what you guys thought on the video. Alright guys, I'm out, and have a good night.